Hello again, teacher superheroes. This is Charlie with Shining Scholar Education again, and I wanted to share some really awesome books that I've used over the years to engage my reluctant readers. And by that, I mean students that quote unquote say they hate reading. And it's funny because as soon as I introduced a lot of these books, different students react differently to each book, of course. It's not a one size fit all, but once you find that thing that really engages the students, it's a beautiful thing. It's like magic, something clicks. They just fall in love with reading. And I always tell them when they tell me I hate reading or I don't like reading, I always tell them, I smile and I say, it's just that you haven't found the right book yet. And so let's get started. So, and I'll put links to all of these in the video description. And they will be Amazon affiliate links, which means I get a small commission off of the sale if you do end up buying the book, but it doesn't affect your bottom line price at all. So don't worry about that. All it does is it gives me a portion of Amazon's profits. So let's get started. The first one is Drive by Lynne Ewing. And I hadn't really heard about this author before this book, but let me just tell you, this is an incredible, incredible book. It's a very short read. Let me see, there it is, 96 pages. And it's a thin book and it's small. I think it only probably measured about 4 inches by 5 or 6 inches, and it's very thin. If you held it between your fingers, it would probably be maybe half an inch thick. And it's only 96 pages, like I said, and I won't give away the plot. Well, I mean, if you're going to read it, it's an amazing book. You can get it done literally in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So it's about a young boy whose brother gets shot in a drive-by. And throughout the whole book, he's dealing with the guys that allegedly shot him, his best friend, quote unquote, his best friend. He's trying to find out whether or not his brother was involved in gangs, right? Because he looked up to his brother so much. And it's just such a simply, wonderfully told story. The vocabulary is probably 6th, 7th grade, maybe 8th at the most. So even the students that are older, because the content is for more mature, it's not for elementary school students, of course, but because the content is more mature, students were so engaged, and it's easily accessible because of the low reading level, right? And I get that even if you have a 10th grader, you want him reading at that grade level, but this is a great entry point to get them passionate about reading. All right, so that's the first one there, Drive By. And the ending, just let me say, is beautifully wrapped up. The kids loved it. It was so satisfying. So definitely a good book. I'm sure you've heard of this one, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I mean, just what can you say about it? Look at it, 4.6 stars, almost, 150,000 ratings. I mean, it's not a long read also. Let me see, this is the audiobook, but if you can find, let's look at the paperback cover. So here it is, and let's see, it's only 208 pages, but let me tell you, each short chapter ends with a cliffhanger, and it's just one of those books that you can't stop reading. It's a wonderfully philosophical fable, very positive, super inspiring, without being too cheesy or melodramatic or contrived, which a lot of books, to each their own. But I've read some where it was good, but you could see it coming from a mile away. This one has so many plots and twists and just beautiful life lessons, all taught through a fable that's timeless, because it's not set with cell phones, computers, things like that. It's a story that could take place at any time, so it's an amazing book. I cannot say enough things about it. As a matter of fact, let's go look at the ratings. Let's see, just finished it. Okay, let's see. It's different from what I imagined, but equally good. Wise words and good advices if you know how to read them. Fully recommended. Yeah, see, everyone has talked about this book, from Madonna, Pharrell, Oprah to my mother. Life-changing is what I heard. Yep, and even the most students that are quote-unquote haters of reading love this book. So like I said, I'll put the link in the description. Let's go on to the next one. This one, believe it or not, Tupac Shakur, the rapper we all know as Tupac, actually wrote a book of poetry while he was in high school. And after his death, they published it. So it's I've had maybe 2 or 3 copies because I always end up giving one away. Let's see if we can get through. Here's the sample. So what's awesome is that his teacher from high school actually took his notebook and scanned the pages. And so they have his handwriting. This is all from his hand, which really lends a whole nother level of authenticity for the kids, because he is a hip hop legend icon. The kids today, he's been dead for almost 30 years now, or just 30 years. And he's still immortal in music, and kids today, no matter how much the genre of hip hop and rap music changed, they still look at him as, as a trailblazer, as a renegade. And so here, and I think one of the best parts about this book, let me see if so it'll have one page where it actually is his notebook, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, which is autobiographical, which is a beautiful metaphor of how he grew up in not such great circumstances, but still flourished into something. And then they have it typed out. So it's easy to read, but it lends another sense of, authenticity. And not only that, but feeling connected, like you're there and actually holding something that he wrote by hand, So definitely a must read. I have it, like I said, I've had several copies in my classroom library. A lot of them grow legs and leave, but hey, if they're reading it, even better, right? And so along the same vein as The Rose That Grew, look at that, 4.9 stars, almost 8,000 ratings. Incredible. Let's take a look at some of these. Let's see. That's nice. Let's see. Yeah, well, I'm so glad that I ordered this. It's such a beautiful memento of a brilliant life taken so suddenly. So there it is. And let's see this one. And along the same vein, any biographies that had to do with Tupac, especially my older students, they could not put down. So here's one, the Authorized biography. And here's another one that I also had in my classroom, Tupac Shakur, The Life and Times of an American Icon. And you can see this one's 286 pages. Let me see how long the other one was. Let me get the paperback version. 448, so considerably longer. But like I said, even if it's not assigned reading, if you have this as open choice or sustained silent reading or SSR, this is definitely going to go a long way to convince your readers that reading isn't boring. You've just been reading the wrong thing, right? That's the philosophy we have here. So I appreciate you folks. Like I said, these are affiliate links for Amazon, which means we get a small commission from them, but it doesn't affect your price at all. Hope these help. Please leave comments, and if you know of any great books, leave it in the comments and we'll try to cover it in another video. Like I said, that's it. Thank you for everything you do, teachers. This is Charlie signing off. Keep changing the world. You're touching hearts and changing lives. We appreciate it. Take care.